And welcome back. TSM took game one of this series in controlling fashion and are on the road to another 2-0 weekend. Bjergsen, as always, doing crazy things.
Yeah, Bjergsen once again getting player of the game last game for his Rise performance. I mean, he was all over the place, and the big thing for me was that he was shoving up mid lane and synergizing with Svensgaard perfectly and able to control the buffs of NRG and not allowing that Anivia to even have a blue for most of that game.
Yeah, on the other side, it felt like the matchup we wanted to look at, Santorin versus Sven, did actually play out pretty interestingly, but Santorin, not quite the same pressure we've seen from his Nidalee before, but it was a rough game for him, certainly.
Yeah, I definitely commend Santorin for being aggressive. He actually made some plays that I thought were kind of reckless. It looked like he was really eager to kill Bjergsen in that one fight in the near the red buff, and there was another one near the bot side. So Santorin definitely needs to temper that a little bit and be a little more calculated with his dives and his aggression. So I want to see what he does coming into the next game, and hopefully there's more CC for this team.
And then Quas, Vladimir, full tank.
46.
My favorite stat ever.
1,000 damage taken in that game.
I see that
absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, man.
And it almost worked. We talked about the tank Vladimir, like Warmog, Spirit Visage, Banshee's Veil, cooldown boots. I didn't even know what he went after that. It was more tankiness.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. And he has a Soraka behind him as well. Like, that's legitimately dying 15 times in a health bar. So, didn't have that many deaths.
No. But couldn't quite make it work either. Certainly a lot of fun there. But GBM, on the other side, is a focal point of this NRG squad. And Bjergsen explains how it could affect NRG's team comps.
I've seen GBM play a lot of really heavy champions that when they get a lot of farm, they're really strong in team fights and can carry, like Ziggs and Vlad. So it definitely shows that for NRG, he's a big carry in terms of team fighting and in terms of just their overall map play. They play a lot of tanks on the top side. Santorin plays a lot of tanks in the jungle. Quas plays a lot of tanks top. So they're really relying on GBM to be the carry.
Vladimir went top, get juked. Didn't end up the way he thought it would. But still, at the same time, it ends up being a Nivea in the mid lane. Still a farm-dependent champion. And yeah, he has actually dictated a lot of their drafts in the past. And we were seeing a lot of tank tops like Maokai that were locked in for impact. Even when Fiora was a really good pick, because they wanted to have that synergy where they had a frontline for GBM to enable him.
Yep, and maybe that's why Quas went full tank Vladimir. We'll never know, but almost made it work. I love the draft actually from NRG. We'll see what they have cooked up here in game number 2, but TSM, again, it's how they're executing with their picks. I mean, Rise usually banned away. We'll see if maybe there's an adjustment there, because Bjergsen certainly made them pay on the pick. But Kindred and Twitch, actually, 2 marksmen going to get banned away. So respecting OQ's Twitch certainly did have potential to carry that last game, as Trundle actually the first ban away from Haunter. And there's Vladimir. NRG know the pick strongly, always want to play it themselves. They'll keep it out of TSM's hands as well.
And TSM, I assume it's going to be a Zyra ban, last ban, and if they don't, it means they want to first pick it.
Well, there's a Zyra ban, so they do not want to first pick it. We'll see what the last ban is here on the red side now.
So Jax left up, Azir left up, Bard left up from last time. And those are the champions now that have been swapped out.
Well, only 10 seconds left for this final ban to be decided. NRG certainly taking their time as you see the coaches pacing back and forth.
Bard. No.
All right, Bard taken away. So what is TSM's first pick?
Don't give it to Bio Bard. Make sure they take away that pick. And now it's the Jax and the Azir from last time. And I honestly think you may go Azir here first pick because you're going to get counter-picked anyway. But you could also take Nidalee. Get a priority jungler when Kindred's off the table, or Rek'Sai.
Yep. I think jungler maybe makes the most sense first, and it will be Rek'Sai again for Svensgaard. Definitely a team effort to get him ahead, but managed to keep Santorin's pressure off the table pretty much. Just playing up and aggressively in the other jungle. Svensgaard, great amount of control exerted over the very fast pressure-heavy jungle. See if Santorin switches it up. Felt like he had a decent game, but it wasn't quite enough to carry the lanes. If they're going to play standard again, especially maybe he just wants something he can gank a little bit more on, because you said it in the bottom lane. He went down, looked for the 3v2, and it's like, wait, we don't have any CC.
Yeah,
And then immediately left.
Happens all the time, and I hate that when that happens because
such a good spot already.
All of these lanes don't really have any way to force it with CC or without CC. And now they've kind of remedied that problem here with both Karma and Elise, which I think are great champions for lockdown and pick.
I feel like I was kind of expecting a swap here, so I like that Santorin is going to the Elise. Karma as well there for NRG. Be taken away from Bifrost this time around. We'll see what he wants to play. on the other side. As a very tiny TSM fan holds up her sign. Good to see fan support growing. TSM, you know, they're a popular team.
Fan support growing up as well.
Slowly. There's 20 seconds away for these next 2 picks for TSM. I don't think Bjergsen's going to be playing the old Blitzcrank mid.
The old Blitzcrank mid, back in Season 1.
Yep. I don't even know if people did it in Season 1. That's how extreme Blitzcrank mid is. It's like, it's too much. Pre-Season 1.
There was probably that guy.
I mean, it was double lift, funnily enough, for a while, although not mid. And there's Lucian Nami, again, taking an aggressive semi-counter lane there into that Karma.
Yep. With Bard, Zyra, and Karma off the table. The next one down with a has engaged and is also still lane bully in range would be the Nami. So expected that to come through. Biofrost has had good performances on all of these champions previously. The Nami, where he throws the wave down choke points, he's been rather good about cutting off options from the enemy team.
Yeah, been very impressed with Biofrost so far as the newest member of TSM.
Yeah, he's definitely making a name for himself, and Rookie of the Split is something that might have his name on it by the end.
Yep, certainly something he's keeping in mind, as we'll see what NRG have in store for the next few picks. OQ actually going to go back to Caitlyn, so heavily outranges double lift Lucian.
I definitely think you go Caitlyn here. I think that's a really good pick for him. OQ would sometimes get Swifty boots first just so he can orb walk a little bit better against somebody like a Lucian. Walk back and forth and attack move.
I like it. As Jax was open, was banned in last game. They are going to take it here for Quas. Don't know what Haunter's going to play, but Quas feels pretty comfortable in whatever counter pick Haunter wants.
I think you go with these two. I think you go Azir and Swain. Yep.
Not very surprising at all for TSM, but a great draft here. Feels like they got everything they wanted, but NRG, this is the sort of comp I think they can do really well with. We'll see how GBM finishes off the draft. What does he feel like playing today into this Azir?
Fizz, LeBlanc. You could go for a wave clear battle, play Ziggs.
Yeah, I mean, GBM, we heard it from Bjergsen, doesn't really feel like he's going to a lot of the assassins right now.
Yep.
Definitely favoring the farm heavy carry control mages, I suppose. Maybe just goes back to Anivia.
Go back to Victor as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, this unit is going to be 4 people and then the Jack split pushing most of the time, I assume. Quas is usually a team fighter, though. So I assume it's something with wave clear. Ziggs, yep.
That's a lot of wave clear.
Yep, there you go.
There's the Ziggs locked in. I believe GBM is the only player in the NALCS to have Ziggs games, and he has more than one.
This split, yeah.
Yes, this split, sorry. Of course.
Sorry I did that. Shouldn't have done that.
That's fine. Still cool. Thank you for clarifying. It's important. He's never played Ziggs. No.
Nobody in the history of League of Legends.
Alrighty.
Anyway, 4-man unit here for NRG with Quas split pushing most of the time. Interested to see if he sticks with that Ghost. Most likely won't, but chasing down Swain, I've seen stranger things from a Jax. I don't think it's completely out of the question. And then on the opposite side, TSM are just looking for that 5-man fight again. Early game bot lane, later game mid and top in their solo lanes.
Feels like, yeah, maybe Bjergsen a little less effective in the earlier stages. We saw his Rise do work in tandem with Svenskeren, so other than that, pretty similar comps on both sides, I have to think. NRG say, you know what, the game plan was good, we just didn't execute maybe the way we wanted to. Coaches are going to shake hands. TSM say, you know what, execution was great, let's do it again.
And I always think that TSM, because their champion pool seems so diverse and really on top of the meta, no matter what they draft right now, as long as it's near that S tier, they're just coming away with a great composition at the moment.
Well, they certainly are, and this series could end right here. Fire up Twitter and tell us if you think NRG has what it takes to push us to a decider with the hashtag NRGwin or hashtag TSMwin if it's the 2-0 sweep to remain undefeated still in North America after 3 weeks of play. What a statement it would be to start this season so strong. NRG, though, have been only growing in strength. We'll see what they have in store for us in Game 2. Like we said, comps looking very similar. We'll see how they go on the execution this time around.
Yeah, and honestly, after this game, if it is this deciding game for TSM, they are 1/3 through the season without dropping a match.
Which is crazy.
It is absolutely insane.
Well, we're on to Summoner's Rift. TSM going to move out from the blue side this time around. NRG over on the red. We'll see if we have a lane swaps or standard lanes in the last match. Eventually a swap back there as NRG tried to open the map up a little bit more. Maybe they fancy playing a bit of an earlier macro game, letting those carries farm up a bit more. Or maybe they think, you know what, Santorin's on a more aggressive jungler. He can play more up we think we can win standard lanes here? Because TSM, they're never afraid to play standard. not with the players they have on their team. Haunter has a giggle. Quas is just going to stand there, but you know what? Not too worried. And they've seen each other already, so unless we have some deception, maybe getting standard lanes again, although still some movement to come here.
Yeah. And TSM, I mean, they've been incredibly confident. And yeah, here comes the lane swap.
High five as they go by. Quas is like, good luck.
Ships in the night, man.
Yep. Svenskeren gets his Finn high-fived.
But they're calling it as well. I don't think they spotted it out. They're going for it.
The very rare double blind lane swap into inverted standard lanes. Yeah. Sounds like a really complicated skateboard trick.
It's the mind games. You know, one of these teams, though, is sitting there going, okay, they're going to lane swap, so we're going to do it as well. And the other one's going, man, I hope we lane swap in there. They're not here.
Well, standard lanes it is. Just upside down. Feels like home. Is Bjergsen able to clean these out? We'll see how the 1v1 goes this time for GBM. Teleport for the Ziggs. Heal for Bjergsen. So no double TP on the TSM side this time.
Yeah. Also quite interesting because both duo lanes are actually doing a camp first. Normally in a lane swap, your support runs into the enemy jungle and tries to stop them from doing it. So if this wasn't a lane swap, then one of these teams, the one that didn't lane swap, would actually walk away with a little bit of an advantage because they'd get a strong side of their jungle.
As it is, Luki doing pretty nicely so far. Just, again, trying to keep Lucian at arm's length. Double if though, always wants to get aggressive, but Bifrost only level 1. And Oku being level 2, kind of zoning him away. Ooh, Q gonna miss. Good headshot though from the E. Double if just eating damage from Harass here. So much poke in this lane.
Speaking about being harassed, oh man, Quas gets pushed really far back. He didn't start with Corrupting Potion either. He started Doran's Blade and a Potion, so already out of sustain. He's gonna have to TP back into this lane.
Yeah, really aggressive items here for Quas. Maybe he goes for the double triple Dorans. That's a Quas special.
I think I found the lane that wanted to be lane swapped away.
Was it the Jax lane? It was probably the Jax lane. Quas gonna TP back in. Refillable pot. Pink ward. Really defensive early start here from the Jax. And good thing too, because Sven's ready.
Yeah, he knows that he already used the TP, and it's a Ghost Jax as well. He kept the Ghost. And Haunter had the wave frozen, so...
There's the Ghost.
He's gotta go elsewhere.
Yep. Time to bail. Goes around the other side, but he's got no one to run to just yet. He's awfully fast, though.
If Bjergsen responds to this, he has it shoved up. But yeah, a little bit too fast there. We'll see. Oh, is this turning into a gank? It's the escape into the... Oh, no. He rocks off to the side.
That would have been quite a conversion of it. Quas has been chased out of lane again, all the way to a different one.
Yep.
And that's going to give Haunter still a nice little advantage. Santorin, though, going to try and steal away this blue buff.
Yeah.
Potential 3 buff here. Bjergsen spots it, but he gets the buff. Bjergsen, though, going to chase down the jungler. Surfs around. Slows good. Oh. Scared looking for the Unburrow. Doesn't find it. Good repel, but going to chase him down. Blue buff donated back over. Bjergsen flashes for it.
Yep. Goes to Bjergsen. Was going to get handed off to him anyway by Svenskeren, but comes up with a kill as well. Santorin really aggressive. It looks like he's slightly frustrated at this team. And the fact that he's trying to make plays and jungling is a team effort and he's not getting any backup.
Yeah, again, great collapse there from Bjergsen. Sven and he have been playing very well together this series so far. It does continue here as our early blue buff could be problems. GBM going to get chunked out. Good satchel. Just gets him to safety. Saves the flash.
Yeah, and GBM now has to deal with a blue buff Azir very early on in the game. It's going to be incredibly rough for him. I'm actually quite surprised that Santorin didn't flash north, because that's where his duo lane is, and there's a movement speed and the shield up there, and that lane is constantly shoved up, so it was definitely the safer lane to approach. And Svenskeren came from the right side, so Svenskeren wouldn't have been able to reach him either.
Yeah, GBM stays for an extra wave as we check in with the top lane. Double continuing to get poked down here. Maybe another lane that TSM would have been happy to swap out of.
Yeah. But I mean, that bottom lane, 19 CS advantage here, 15 up in this top, but you would really love your Elise to be up in this top lane right now for a dive. You would want that really badly, especially since you can put Caitlyn traps on the top side of the turret, between the turret and the wall, and then you close off that choke point.
Quas again has to leap away. Melee versus range always feels a little tough. Swain is very good at punishing these sort of champions. Quas should know.
Yeah.
Pretty big Swain player.
He definitely should know.
He's going to have to take his hits for a little while and see what he can get under the turret. Santorin actually going to come for a visit here, though, but Sven's going to spot him. Trevor Sense instantly sees the Elise.
Yep.
Not going to spot that pink that Quas placed earlier. They'll clear that out of the way.
Yeah, and it looked like they were going to try to pick on Quas a little bit more here. Svenskeren still has his flash, didn't use it, so diving and flashing, definitely on the table for him.
Good patience there from Santorin. Going to get knocked up, though.
Either.
Cocoon lands, finds a stunner to Sven. Turning Smite down, Santorin going to chase. Could be a 1v1. That's a flash out. Repel down. Quas is here as well. Never moves good, but Quas gets himself a kill.
Bopped on the head there. Quas picks up a kill. A little bit back in this game now. The Jax needs to come online, and he's missing a bit of CS to that turret at the moment. And it's been like a 3-minute push in the making, and he finally got the CS under his turret, but definitely helping out with the kill, allowing it to be secured. Worth it.
Yeah, good bit of gold. Bjergsen, though, was making his way over. Level 6s here. Would have been nice to turn that around, but Sven not quite in sync with his team this time. Gets punished for it. Nope. Good to see NRG sort of adapting from game one and saying, you know what, we expect them to aggressively collapse. Let's make sure we match it this time, as OQ actually back in the bottom lane.
Speaking
Had
of
another late lane swap.
That's true. Another late lane swap. Kiwi Kid trying to walk up and zone Hanser off, saying that they have to swap their duo lane back down here. Looking at the top side, though, that minion wave is not going to do Quas any favors because it's pushing the opposite direction towards the TSM. So, really bad luck here. The minion waves are being manipulated by TSM quite well. Hanser with the freeze because Quas got a couple extra hits on minions right beforehand. And then immediately has Svenskeren gank that lane, and that gives him that first blood.
Yeah, you can see Quas very happy to get some CS now, but 18 to 44.
Oh, it's going to get worse, too, in just a moment.
Yep.
Because as soon as Hanser shows up, this doesn't reach the turret, so it doesn't start getting annihilated by it.
And there's Hanser, back with the Catalyst.
And he can freeze it if he wants to, but it looks like he's just going for the harass and the push out.
Yep, going to keep it here for a little while longer. Misses the never move. Good leap strike from Quas. Counter-strike popped. Doesn't land the stun. Still eating harass as he tries to CS. Quas has to be so careful because if he gets chased down this long lane with only a ghost, could be an easy pick up there for Hanser, especially if Sven's in the area. But Sven actually onto the blue buff this time. TSM continuing their trend of denying GBM. Blues as double lift. It's an ace in the hole there from OQ. Good harass down onto the Lucian. He was a little bit behind in CS as well.
Yep. And blue buff, GBM, not going to be able to get that. Another blue going over to Bjergsen. They just control this. I'm interested to see how many blues they get, and immediately into a bot lane gank.
Ben's here looking for it. Snare down, though. Gets a double knockup. Double lift continuing to play aggressive. Pops out the culling and trunks them out. Kiwi Kid low flashes, but he lives.
Yeah, it could have been a double lift flash forward. Heal was already used by OQ. So stopping that, because as soon as he flashes and then he queues up that Q or queues up an auto attack, because he would have had the double shot from using the culling.
Yep, double lift though. Saves his summoners. Just happy to push them out of lane. Santorin continuing to sort of take counter pressure where he can. Takes the Gromp out from TSM's left side of the map. Hanser now hanging out in the brush. Quas is getting some much needed CS here. But again, still behind a whole host. 30, almost 40. Now the wave's going to join back in. Hanser, I think, happy to play up and trying to apply more pressure, although could maybe hold this wave here. Quas, though, just going to back. He kind of has to. Oh, he wants to stay.
Yeah, he needs to stay. They have a ward on that top side of the jungle because that blue buff is coming up, and now it'll spot Svenskeren, so they know where the jungler is. They're not contesting the blue buff, though, which is a little strange because they had warded it and went through that effort, but it looks like Santorin's going to try to gank bottom. They ping out that there's a ward in this bush, so I guess he has to walk straight by it.
Yep, trying to brute force this one. Double lift, goes away, Cocoon.
Oh, he still hits Bio!
Bio gets locked up there, the headshot's down. Now the TPs are coming in, headshot's good.
Oh.
Ace in the hole, blocked by Biofrost. Barely saves his teammates, GBM! Just tags Bio with a bit of damage, not enough for a kill, but a nice roam down, and the teleport actually used by Ziggs.
Yeah, no ignite there used by Kiwi Kid at all in that. If he was able to ignite, he'd cut the heal, and it would have been almost a disaster there for Biofrost.
Well, it's okay for now, but Bjergsen now ganking in the top side with Svenskeren. Surfs forward, Quas gets knocked up by the Umbara. Now Bjergsen going to chase his way in, but under the tower should be safe. Bjergsen cannot surf back towards those. I'll take the turret instead.
Yep, and this is what TSM do now. Ever since the first time we saw them in the split, that game one, they try to choke you out of the game. They search for weak spots. Okay, they're not going to contest their blue. We got that blue. We farmed their jungle. Now we're slightly stronger, so the next time we do it, it's easier. And now they've identified Quas, bad matchup, doesn't play this one very well. They're trying to avoid this. Keep giving this matchup to Hanser, and now let's help it out even more. It sucks as a top laner more than anything when you have an awful matchup, you can't get out of the lane swap, and then the enemy team keeps showing up too.
Yep. So TSM is picking on him as it looks like a pretty nice teleport ward, but not going to go for it yet. Double lift actually going in for it. They're going to all in. Culling's down. Oki just straight up dies, and now Kiwi Kid's in trouble. Double flashes forward, looking for the Q. Kiwi gets one, but Bio answers.
Kiwi Kid picks it up. Biofrost with the wave gets it at the end there. Double lift playing very bold right now.
I mean, kind of baited them in. Good little play. Sven takes the wolf away. Gromp here as well, so continuing to control Santorin's jungle. I feel like if Biofrost was there, maybe he could have easily won the 2v2, but Double lift takes matters into his own hands. Almost 1v2s them.
Almost. Very, very close there. And finishing off Kiwi Kid. But no summoner spells available at that point, and Kiwi Kid had his Ignite up from not using it previously.
Santorin just gives up his Gromp.
Well, he can't. Biofrost is right there.
Oh! All right, Sven's like, nope, had enough.
It's too difficult.
He's reset it twice. He's like, let's take this Drake instead.
Bigger fish to fry.
Wow, Drake, much better than Gromp. We'll watch this again.
And double lift, hanging out in the bush, and then slides and flashes. Oh no, he slides forward, gets the combo. Then he starts culling. Had the movement speed because he hit the Ardent Blaze. Starts hitting Kiwi Kid and flashes over so he doesn't have to actually change the angle and cancel his culling, so he gets some extra culling shots in him.
Well, Bio was there. I tell a lie. Just couldn't quite follow the flash sliding Lucian forward.
Didn't think he got a bubble in that, but
a little out of range. But good play there from TSM's duo. Pick up 2 kills for 1. And now defending this top side of the map as 4 members of NRG gonna look to push it down. OQ's Caitlyn trying to get that siege on, but TSM defending for now.
Yeah, GBM pushing the mid lane right now. It's not an execute range for his satchel charge yet, and Bjergsen is coming in from the top side.
GBM doing some work. Bjergsen though with the blue buff.
It's a little hard for you to get away if this Azir really wants to fight you.
Everything up.
He's going to wait for the satchel charge to go off because he has to use it to get out.
Oh, he's been juked.
Yep, there it is.
Now he's going to go in, surfing from Bjergsen. Forcing a flash out, but he's not using it yet. Now used to the ulti, and GBM's just dead, I think. Bjergsen, easy solo kill.
Yep, skewered right there. He ended up walking too far forward on GBM's side. Still had flash, I believe.
Yeah, he did. As Quas looking to dive in, finds Bio, damage down from the Caitlyn ulti. Biofrost taking lots of hits, but the tidal wave going to disengage them. Double lift firing a few shots, but here's Hanser. He's TP'd up, now looking for Kiwi. Quas gets one, only Kiwi Kid. But Bjergsen's here as well. Cocoon's good, going to keep him back for now, but Quas I think maybe going to be sacrificed. He is going to go down, but he tries to take out Sven, almost gets it as Double lift claims his life, and now Bjergsen in, there's one. Now going to look for OQ as well, could be 2, never moved down. Hanser claims that one. TSM explode across the rift.
TSM solo laners have just been playing so well this entire split. The TP usage from Hanser, the engages that they've been able to pull off, and just the boldness that Bjergsen has had. And whenever I look at Bjergsen, it's actually incredible because you think about how long he's been pretty much the best mid laner in North America when he came over here, and it's been years at this point. Seeing a player perform at that level and keep that consistency is fantastic. Biofrost gets the exhaust down. It's like, it's just a prank, guys. We were just trying to get the turret. And then the birds come out. Quas walks back because he knows that Bjergsen is going to come after him anyway, so he's going to try to get a counter kill. Gets knocked up, so he can't actually close the distance onto what I assume is going to be Biofrost, because he's the squishy member, and trying to pick him up. And then everybody else just gets kind of destroyed afterwards. So, yeah, TSM are just taking care of business right now with 3K gold lead.
Yeah, didn't trade the turret though. Hanser actually couldn't quite get the trade, so it's actually 2-1 up in turrets for NRG, but shouldn't be too much longer here. As I have a spy into Bjergsen's inventory. Stinger first early, now Nash's. Probably going Rylus with the Giant's Belt. But Berserker Greaves.
They are fantastic. Like, a lot of people go for the Spell Pen boots. I personally always really like the Zerker Greaves. I know it's statistically slightly less DPS in a burst combo, but it gets you 1 extra auto attack sometimes.
Oh!
And they were buffed.
Biofrost could be in trouble. Venomous bite down, but he flushes out of the way. Tidal Wave should disengage it. 5 members of NRG here. But Biofrost, quick fingers.
Yeah.
Gets him out of the way.
That's going to leave Hanser in the top lane, though, so Quas used his TP, and that's really what TSM wanted, so they'll have TP advantage next time. Yeah, Zerker Greaves got buffed, so it's a great buy as well. So
I love it.
Going back to that.
Nice and aggressive for Bjergsen.
Inside on mid.
Tower might fall down as a result. GBM ultis to clear the wave. That's going to stop this portion of the push. TSM, do they stay and try and do more damage here? Haunter actually waiting for a rotation. I think just spots Quas. Pinging out to Santorin. Leap in there. Svenskeren going to try and track him down. GBM's there to defend. TSM is trying to find a foothold here into the center of the map. Double Lift busy bottom lane. He'll push that back out. See if he can't take the outer turret if it makes it that far. And TSM zoning him off this central point.
Zoning him off of this red buff. Svenskeren.
Unrelenting in his counter jungling today.
Absolutely.
Santorin's having a real rough time of it. It looks like TSM actually is going to spread back around the map. So turrets will stay up.
Smite this away. Oh. Nope. Quas gets it. It's those small victories.
He'll take it, but he's down a lot of CS still. And you mentioned it already, the TSM solo lane is really going off this game. 20 CS ahead for Bjergsen. Well, the GBM's going to cut that down a bit, taking out the wave. And 50 for Haunter.
Yep. Jax being delayed is actually really big, and he doesn't have flash, so he doesn't have a combo like flash and then bop somebody in a team fight, or flash counter-strike. His counter-strikes are quite telegraphed now. You know what his leap range is, so he'll ghost and try to get in there. So you don't have those snap ones.
Double Lift almost snared up, but
4 people to the bot side.
saves the E, gets out. 4 members of NRG here, though. Rek'Sai going to come down, offer some support. Long lane here for TSM to try and get out of. They spot Santorin, though.
Santorin's going to walk away and be like, hey, you guys saw me walk away. Guess what? I'm still here.
Yep, pops the Ghost Blade. Time to run. Quas is here. Doesn't Ghost.
No.
Svenskeren able to track them. Kind of stops all that.
Yeah, they really wanted to make a play, but you can save your summoner spells for the next 30 seconds because there's going to be an Infernal in 40. And if you take the fight now, you kill them, but TSM are back up for the Infernal Drake. It's actually quite interesting. We've seen team fights before where people will blow summoner spells before a dragon's up because they get like 3 kills for 0. And then when the dragon fight happens, they end up losing because they don't have their summoners.
Have to balance things out, and TSM have shown great macro players. Haunter caught out by Santorin. Needs a combo in there from the Spider, but Haunter heals himself back up. He's got the Rod of Ages, pops the ulti. Should be just fine there. Sven locked up by Kiwi Kid. Does eat the snare, but don't think he minds too much. He's going to start clearing a ward. Slaps that one. And it is Infernal Drake time. TSM going to collapse onto the objective. And they should be
Yeah, they're not going to
uncontested.
They're not going to contest. Quas in the top lane, no teleport. Haunter 2 levels up still. 66 CS above him right now.
Bottom outer falls as well. Double Lift and Bifrost teaming up for that one. TSM claim their second Drake of the game. So we'll add Infernal to their cloud.
Oh boy. I like this Zerker Greaves. Zerker Greaves actually feel fantastic on him because you start getting those extra autos. So when you Q somebody, you can sneak in an extra auto attack if they didn't start moving immediately. Also, the soldiers look fantastic when they're doing it because it's just a constant thrust, flip it around, then over and over and over again.
Yeah,
It feels really good to play.
Yeah, and I'm sure Bjergsen looks good playing it. You mentioned this before, TSM. You know, they'll take this down to champions. You know, lots of scaling mid laners right now. They'll take that and play with it, but don't need to play it towards that late game. Can play more aggressive.
Oh yeah, we're talking about, like, I don't know if I've ever said TSM are waiting for an item spike, because they're always just doing things.
Yep.
Because item spikes, exactly. Item spikes are relative though, right? It's we're on one item, let's fight. It's like, okay, they're on one item as well. Is it good for our champion? Is it better for our champion, et cetera? They're like, no, we're just going to fight when we have components very early on. We're going to get a small advantage, which helps us complete our item first, and then we're 100% fine regardless of what champions we have.
2v1 time though for Haunter. Santorin's here. Quas going to start it off, but going to pop himself into the ulti. Quas eating too much damage. Pops the Zhonya's as well. Quas has to run. Haunter going to chase him down, and Santorin cannot win this fight. Kiwi Kid though, maybe he can turn it around, but Rek'Sai's joined the party as well. There's Svenskeren stalking someone. Who does he want? He's going to smite up Quas for the slow. Looks to keep chasing. Santorin going to slow him down just a bit. The stun going to turn that around, but Sven's nice and tanky. Cocoon to the face, though, stops him in his tracks, and TSM have all arrived.
Yeah, still, that's a gigantic win for TSM. They get to shove this wave up, and they cause everybody from NRG to come to this top side. They get the flash, they get the ghost. They don't burn any of their own summoner spells to do so, and because there were 3v2 in the top side, they get to go mid.
BBM has to satchel out, throws a bomb there for a bit of style on the other end, but TSM will now claim another turret. The tier 2 in mid will fall. 6,000 gold up now for TSM. Just unrelenting pressure.
Exactly. They're so good at seeing, we're going to cause pressure here. Oh, they're countering us. 3v2 in the top side. They force them off. Huge numbers advantage. So they get to push the mid side. Because if you're winning that 2-on-3, you get to send 3 people at this mid turret, and they got 2 of them.
And again, it's just the complete package for this team
Yeah.
right now. Great solo laners, great support crew,
And then
great mechanics, good laning,
Yeah.
good macro play, good lane swap, nice hair.
What?
I've got it all. And they are on the way to continue their undefeated season. NRG gonna have to hold on. GBM Zig's gonna do a lot of wave clearing before we get to a point where they really feel comfortable contesting any sort of team fight.
Yeah, it's going to be a long time before NRG feel that. With the Vladimir, they had a little bit more because he's an incredibly potent champion. But with Ziggs and Jax, they need a lot of time to come online. And you can see Hanser just keeps getting further and further ahead. There's a minion wave here that will be picked up by Quas. So it's still getting to that point where he's going to hit almost 100 CS up over him and a full item.
Now TSM looks like they're lining up for Baron. 3-lane pressure continues. Double lift. He has so much room, although Bio's caught. Fang gonna knock up Kiwi Kid. Tidal wave there. TSM looking for the counter engage. OQ tagged up. Damage is there from Bjergsen. Rylai's completed. And now Spang gonna dive in. Looks for Kiwi. A little bit blind, but Umbar is for it, and that's the kill. There's one. TSM. What else can they get off this punish?
Yeah.
Cancelled back. Got him.
Worst defender in the world. Can't even block for him. Or was actually spotted by Svenskeren because of that ward.
Good little play, but Quas getting tower dove?
Yeah, Quas. It's really dangerous there. There's a Rift Herald buff on Hanser. He was donated that earlier on.
I don't know, I missed that one. But yeah.
It must have been in a replay. I never heard it scream.
Yeah. Well, proven to be pretty good here. Never moves good. Quas. I don't think you can fight this one, buddy. OQ's here, but he's dead.
Yep. Rift Herald, auto
Oh,
attack.
OQ. Again? Bjerg is here. Never move. Flash, but Bjergsen rides in for it.
Oh, two.
Scoops him back. Finds another Kiwi Kid now. Gonna get slowed up by the Rylai's, and Bjergsen. Double kill.
All of those stabs. Bjergsen plays Azir at such a high level, and it is absolutely fantastic to watch his Shurima shuffles. They get a turret off of that, and they make it look easy. It's 10k gold up at 22.5 minutes.
And this looks desperate. No, that's TSM. This looks great. I thought it was NRG trying to sneak in the Baron, but TSM will just take the standard objective.
TSM look absolutely on fire, and they're poised to end the week completely undefeated right now. And their remaining schedule is...
Oh, good flush from Double Lift. Gets out from under the cocoon. Haunter with a flank. Finds one. GBM down. Centauran almost locked up. But he'll escape for now. TSM gonna finish off the Baron. Double Lift keeps him out of the pit. And TSM on the verge of a 2-0 sweep of NRG. And another perfect week.
And a 2-0 week as well. And yeah, I was saying they're going to end 6-0 if this game goes through for them, which it's looking more and more like that. And the remaining teams they have to play in the first half are Echo Fox, Envy, and Phoenix 1. So they still have some easy games for themselves in the future. Envy is really the only one up there in the standings for them. And yeah, Hanser 2v1ing, had that Rift Herald that actually helped them out there to finish. But NRG just look uncoordinated. It looks like, okay, I'm going. Well, how far behind are you? It's like I got 3 seconds there behind, and I didn't say that. So it looked like Quas was waiting for OQ, thought OQ was much closer. And even then, OQ doesn't have anything like an Executioner's Calling, so he's not helping the healing. He's actually helping the healing.
Yeah.
Take that back. He's helping the healing. He's not helping Quas stop the healing.
No. And TSM now looking to threaten this bottom half. Tower is going to go down pretty quickly here. NRG, I don't think they can defend. They might try. Sven just dips in for a bit of zoning. Double Lift gets out though as they try and engage. Svenskeren maybe caught. Tidal Wave gets OQ. He gets blown up by Biofrost as he gets the kill. Culling though, it's going to collect it. It's going to swoop forward and try and take this out. Power is low. Double Lift going to throw a pot shot into it, but here's Bjergsen looking threatening. Bubble under Kiwi Kid. That should be the kill. Bjergsen once more though. He was going to try and take out GBM. Gets stunned up. Damage is there. Shuffles him out of the way. Pops a Zonyas to keep himself alive. GBM going to line it up. He does get the shutdown, but TSM stream into NRG's base.
What is happening? TSM just got every inhibitor turret simultaneously, and then they win a numbers inferior fight. They just took that bottom fight and they got away with everything.
Just so far ahead.
There were 3 members of the bot. Hanser's pushing top, Bjergsen's pushing mid, and they still pick up OQ right at the start of the fight. Look at the minimap. This is not even helping them out. It's a 4v3. And then they have GBM come over here. It's a 5-on-3. And then they're pushing turrets, and they get everything. even if you win this fight, there's no Baron to take. You lose both your turrets, and this one's almost dead in the first place. NRG are just getting wrecked right now by TSM. Their base is in shambles.
Yeah, and Bjergsen, big play here. A little too much on this one. GBM did manage to snipe in there with a nice bomb.
It was a nice bomb. People were trying to block it, and it kind of hopped over them.
Kind of tricky to block. Svenskeren though, speeding around. Double Cloud Drake actually. TSM did get another one in the replay. Yep. So if they need it, Elder Drake will be even stronger. If they're able to get it. Ooh, good ward. NRG again, you can see just trying to find anything at this point in the game, but their base is wide open and ready for the taking. TSM will eagerly accept.
That was interesting because Svenskeren throws down the ward, and then he sees them walk away, and he doesn't have more vision, and they may have just stayed there afterwards, but he still like turns and does the red completely confident, because if they go on him, he has GA, their base is going to get destroyed. They need like 2 people to even kill Svenskeren, maybe even 3 at this point in the game. 14k gold up, 26.5 minutes in. You feel like this is late game, only for TSM.
Cost isn't even here.
Yeah.
NRG just trying to collect what farm they can. They know they can't really defend from this point. So 3 inhibitors down. TSM gonna move in for what could be the killing blow here. NRG have very little left to defend.
Yep. And it's an absolutely insane gold lead right now. Quas almost 100 CS down. And Hanser, Bjergsen, and everybody on this team have been playing fantastic.
Oof. OQ barely misses getting snared up by that Swain. But it's only a matter of time. The Super Minion is going to start to stream in. Baron has dropped, so there's a small bite of good news for NRG. But it is looking almost impossible to defend from this point. TSM just played such a good game.
Yeah, they're playing incredibly clean. The efficiency in which this team moves about the map, maximizing everything.
No, he lives. Good work there. Shields out, but the Texas turret's in trouble. Haunter actually stayed under the turret. Does manage to get the Zhonya's out. Tidal Wave to disengage. Haunter gonna live for a little while longer. Forced to flush the bomb. There's one. TSM still doing the damage they want. Bjergsen rising, gets a 3-man ulti with a scoop. And now GBM's gonna go down as well. A double kill for Haunter. Bjergsen getting low, but TSM pushed through and gonna take out the Nexus alone atop the mountain. Your reigning kings of North America.
TSM right now look like the best team that North America has ever had. It's not just good for this split. You go back historically, even when Cloud9 was reigning, Immortals last split, right now, the way that they're ending these games, how fast they're ending these games, it's insane.
Again, it's the complete package. They make few to no mistakes in so many of their series. They've beaten so many top teams already. The run only looks better from here, and after 3 weeks of play, still undefeated. 8-0 and counting. Which is pretty ridiculous. I'll meet their fans, grab some high fives, and feel nice and settled after another 2-0 week.
Yep, as they move to 6-0 and complete 1/3 of the season undefeated. And like I said, they have 3 matches left. Echo Fox, Phoenix 1, and Envy. Out of those 3, Envy is the only one near the top of the standings. Phoenix 1 yet to pick up a win, and Echo Fox sitting down there as well. They may very well hit that halfway point of the split undefeated and continue their reign of North America at the moment.
Just looking unstoppable so far. NRG, though, put up a good fight. I will say we talked about the growth for this team. Seems like they are still getting it together, but to get it together that quickly to beat TSM was going to be a tall order, and this time could not do it.
Yeah, but we've seen TSM like drop a game to Immortals, right? We've seen back and forth. We've seen game 3s from them. And TSM, right, they aren't without flaw in some way, right? Sometimes they're taking these risks, and the thing about these risks is that they're high percentage risks, right? You're definitely putting yourself in a bad position a lot of the times, but they try to minimize that and they back each other up. When you're taking a risk, the more people that take it with you, it lowers the percentage of it actually pulling off, but it actually makes it worse because if you don't, you lose more. So it becomes an even higher risk, but you get more from it. So they're very efficient. And if you win that one, your next risks go down in percentage chance or go up in percentage chance of succeeding because you're stronger than your enemy, and you just keep doing that.
Yep.
So they do it early, they get the snowball rolling, and they're looking absolutely fantastic right now. And teams are not answering this. Teams are not diving like them. Teams are not moving around the map like them, and not contesting the Baron or even the blue buff and red buff like them. It's great to watch these guys work.
It certainly is. For more on that series win, let's check in with Kobe. He's on stage with TSM's All-Star mid laner.
Thank you, Pastry. I am here with Bjergsen. Congratulations after that win. You guys are still undefeated. Congratulations there. Now, you always have to be improving, though. Continuous improvement here. What are you guys practicing in scrims, trying to improve so that you don't drop any games in any of your series?
Even though we might look solid in most of our games, there's still a lot of weaknesses and mistakes that we're constantly doing that sometimes they're not being taken advantage of, sometimes they're not a big deal, but we're still really focused on those mistakes. And I think right now it's very easy for us to find things to be improving on. So we don't really have a problem finding issues.
Who is testing you the most in the scrims that you are having? Who's giving you the most trouble or exposing the most of your mistakes?
It's hard to say. For me personally, playing in C9, they're always really good at. We play very similarly. We put a lot of resources into the mid lane. We played them on Friday. There was a lot of Bard and Jhin rooms and a lot of interesting stuff. So playing in C9, me personally, I have to hyper focus all the time. So I always like playing in C9 and Jensen.
All right. Well, congratulations. You guys also beat them as well in your best of 3. Now, looking forward for the rest of the split, some people always talk about, oh, when a team wins too many, then they get cocky, they get overconfident. Something might happen like what happened to Immortals last splits. Are you guys actually worried about that? Is that a real problem to have, winning too many series?
I don't think Consta has any ambitions to play Lucian top, but no, just kidding. I love Huni. But yeah, Weldon Green, our sports psychologist, he makes sure that we're not complacent. We're constantly working hard and always looking to continuously prove ourselves and never get complacent. So it's not too much of a worry of mine right now, but it's something that definitely can happen and something that we're looking out for.
Okay, well, stay humble, and we're going to send it over to the analyst desk for those guys to break it down.
Thank you very much, Kobe. TSM, it's getting to that point where you almost don't know what to say about them because, once again, they do exactly as we expected here. Very dominant 2-0 victory over NRG. This one even more so than the game prior. And if we do dive into this, NRG did kind of shoot themselves in the foot. Starting in Champion Select, let's walk through it. We see that Jax picked up, which Quas had been successful on in prior series, fall flat on its face this time around.
So blinding Jax is very dangerous, especially against a team like TSM, that their top 2 picks are champions that, one, Aurelia versus Jax is a skill matchup, and Swain will just flat out dumpster Jax. But they're like, no, we want to pick the Jax. Now, my theory for them taking Jax is because Twitch was banned, and their strategy has been, let's just pick massive wave clear middle with the Anivia and the Ziggs, just stall out forever and hope that we get to 6 items and then we can win off a certain champion, especially since it seemed to have worked yesterday against Team Liquid. And TSM is going to have none of it and just completely obliterate Quas into Flame Horizon. It was brutal.
Yeah, I think I would just like to get right into the replay that we have.
Yeah, we have a replay. Let's take a look at that. Level 1, Quas, on top of having blind picked the Jax into it, definitely doesn't play the early portion of the lane correctly.
Right, so what he's thinking here is he's going to shove the wave as much as he can, and then he'll go for a base and recall as the wave hits the turret and he can reset. But you just can't push the Swain in like that. The Swain's fine with just using the Q on the wave, and Quas keeps getting chunked out, and eventually Quas gets to a point where he can't get the wave in, and he's low, whereas normally you're trying to get the wave in, be low, and recall. So when he gets his recall off, he doesn't really get any items, the wave is frozen, and Sven, as we see right now, is on his red buff. He's doing just a bot side clear, and he ends up going behind Quas and goes over the wall
he'll do the
gank
patented Rek'Sai gank over the wall.
Yeah, and from there, Quas is just so screwed. You have no potential to farm. He was down 30 CS at 6 minutes or something
It's a
crazy.
death wish.
Yeah, and I mean, Sven even played it wrong. He went onto the Gromp when Elise was on it and gave a kill away.
Right.
To Quas.
Later
Imagine how bad it could have been if Quas didn't get that kill. So.
Yeah, I mean, so we saw that. We saw it was 40 CS to 14 at one point.
Right.
So then NRG makes a decision, well, let's swap our bot lane down there. will throw Quas into the top lane, at least try and buy him some time, but they swap him into a lane that's pushing away from him. And as you mentioned, we did hit the Flame Horizon at one point during that game, so Haunter just being an absolute monster on that Swain. He's shown that it's one of his top picks for this split, and for good reason.
I mean, it's good for TSM understanding when an enemy makes a mistake right from the get-go. All right, this is how we're going to punish it. We're going to make sure that we keep matching these lanes and just control the waves properly, gank it at the right times, and standard play by TSM, but unfortunate for NRG not being able to recognize the positions that they're putting themselves in, especially when you save the last pick for don't worry,
GBM Zig,
guys, let Bjergsen have his. I got Ziggs. Like what? No,
that's something that NRG is consistently doing. Is they're giving GBM these last picks, and he's doing these like kind of weird counter picks that don't actually pressure the lane. They just farm evenly. Like he's going the Anivia into Vlad. He did the Anivia into the Ryze game 1. This game he goes Ziggs into Azir, and like Bjergsen's all over the map killing people. And Ziggs just still gets solo killed. It's just, I don't know.
Very questionable things from NRG. Great capitalization on that from TSM. We saw Ziggs getting pushed in constantly in the mid lane. Santorin then making a weird choice to invade the blue buff while his Ziggs is pushed in so Bjergsen can collapse. He ends up getting the blue buff early on in the mid lane. You know, that's a disaster. And so no surprise, 13 minutes into the game in the top lane, we get a 3-0 for TSM. And the game is essentially over off of this team fight.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to somehow pressure double lift, but he just calls the waves and backs off. They get the stun on to the Nami, but that's fine.
Here's your TP coming in.
So then Haunter comes in behind. Bjergsen's right behind him. I think Haunter could have even played this more aggressively. Just walk in there with your ult up, and if they turn on you, they're dead.
Maybe you die, but you've at least started the fight sooner. Exactly.
I mean, they get 3. Who cares? Like, I mean, the game's going in their favor anyways. Quas almost picks him up onto Sven. The rest is just a chase down as Bjerg picks up.
What I really liked about TSM this game is that in the bot lane matchup, you saw them struggle early. Obviously, Caitlyn is a very lane-dominant champion, but they remained confident in their lane because Lucian's item spikes are going to be so much stronger than Caitlyn's early on, who usually tends to go with BF into Hurricane, whereas Lucian goes straight into a Yomu. So they're willing to take that deficit to keep the lead into mid and top, and once Lucian gets a Yomu spike, bot lane is already over. They're able to transition the top and the mid lane into bottom lane, and from that point on, NRG has absolutely no wind of coming back into the game.
I was going to say, yeah, the only winning lane for them was that Caitlyn Karma in the early portions of the game, but as we know, Caitlyn does take a little while to ramp up and get out of that trough that she eventually hits. Player of the game honors here, going to go to Bjergsen, 7-1-3 on Azir. There was some contention here. Of course, so many good performances on TSM makes it tough in such a crushing victory to pick just one player of the game. Haunter was the other guy in the conversation. But as we saw, Bjergsen roaming up to the top lane, full control of the mid lane, a couple sweet Azir plays and Azir sex.
Solo kills.
Yeah, exactly, solo kills. So more than deserving of the award, but Haunter was definitely in the conversation.
Yeah, I think the best play that he made was when, you know, Santorin went for that blue buff because Sven went bottom for that early gank. He punishes what is usually a pretty free trade, and they're able to get that first blood, and he gets the blue and is able to abuse Ziggs the rest of the laning phase.
Couples with the first game thing that we mentioned about TSM, where they're willing to give up their advantages to help everybody else on the map. So obviously, Bjergsen had a big lead on mid lane, about 8 CS at 4 waves in, which is ridiculous already, and he's able to just say, you know what, with this pressure, I'm going to make sure that Svenskeren does not lose blue buff, and immediately they punish Santorin, and as soon as they hit blue buff, you saw him almost solo kill GBM as well, so
yeah.
That game was over rather quickly.
Now, all in all, TSM still continuing their undefeated run. NRG still looking disjointed and have some questions to be answered. Now, before we go to break, we're going to take a live look in at NALCS 2. We're at the 35-36 minute mark. Apex is making a move to close a 3K gold lead that Cloud9 currently has as they look to close out the series. Enjoy.
Meteos drops the ult. He wants to continue fighting, but the rest of his team had already bailed out. Now Jensen goes down. Yes, they do get the jungler, but not really an even trade there. Thankfully for C9, Impact able to escape by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, so when it's all said and done, Cloud9 were not able to take down that mid-tier 2 turret as Apex finally find a good fight. They still have Baron on Meteos and Impact, however, for another minute and a half. Sneaky's going to find some good damage onto Shrimp. There goes a calling on Nuke Special. They're going to try to burst him down. He decides to turn it. Ray is in there immediately. Jensen's like, nah, man, I don't want any pieces
of
this.
He has no Zonias, though. He has to be careful.
Jensen used the initial CC. Shrimp is going to overextend. Drops to Sneaky. Ray is forced to bail.
Okay, I don't think that Apex actually knew Jensen had no Zonians there, and they're being pushed into the side. They call it off and sacrifice their jungler. Shrimp really had no business going up there after Xpecial got out if they didn't want to fight, so miscommunication. This means the base is going to be cracked. C9 is going to take the first inhibitor turret, but there's a fight in the mid lane.
Once again, a huge pick. Jensen and Sneaky are dead. Meteos is running for his life, but Apollo drops on the hunt. Ray might eventually catch it. Boomerang Blade is not enough. Yeah, Ray gets the kill. That's 3 members dead. Impact with the Baron is going to be able to take down an inhibitor, but Apex are counter pushing, and the Elder Drake has just spawned.
Yeah, they need to buy time, though. They want to get this Elder Drake, but Impact is going to be continuing to push. Ray has now based, and it's what can the team get off this? Impact needs to buy time. He wants to go around Dragon, see if he can harass them. At the same time, Shrimp is back up, and they are collapsing on the Elder. They want to take it. They have 3 Dragons. This would be huge for Apex.
Yeah, Keen doing so much damage, shredding through. Impact is on the side, but he can do nothing but watch as Apex take the Elder Dragon and get themselves back into the game.
I gotta say, I bet Bunny Fufu is regretting taking Ignite this game.
Yeah.
You want that exhaust against the Jarvan, and here it is once again. This is at a disadvantage. Remember, this is a 5v4. A nice engage, though. Pop, pop. 2 go down immediately, even through the Shen ultimate there from Impact. No chance for C9 once that happens. Fantastic engage from Xpecial. He pulls the trigger. Ray with the follow-up. Great stuff from Apex.
Yeah, with that, Apex have got 90
A very competitive game, too, there between Apex and C9. Apex, as we just saw, picking up that Elder Dragon after a nice 4 kills. Of course, they did sack that bottom inhib, so it looks like that game might be going on for a little while longer.
That's a game that's scrappy.
Yeah, well, we did see, real quick, I just want to get your guys' thoughts on the Jarvan and the Cassiopeia picks here from Apex, because we haven't seen the Cassiopeia picked up yet. The Jarvan was picked pretty early into that Shen.
So I love the Cassiopeia pick. It's really good into Lissandra, and it can deal with very short-range threats, such as the Lucian and the Kindred and the Shen. But the Jarvan one, not so much.
Not
because,
sold as much
when
there.
you first pick a Braum, a key thing about AD Jarvan is that you can just pop the support very quickly, especially in the meta, which has a lot of AP squishy supports. That's a really easy target for you to constantly pick on. But against Braum, that's never going to happen. And against a champion like Lucian as well, who has a lot of mobility, unlike common meta AD carries such as Sivir and Ashe, Jarvan's just never going to have the chance. But
yeah, Lissandra's not much of a target either with her ult and his
right.
I mean,
only if they combo it well, though.
Yeah, and you saw that Jarvan was having a hard time getting into one of those fights near mid lane. He was just kind of walking in circles through Lissandra ult, through like a Braum ult, just couldn't get anything done. But at the same time, Alistair sets him up nice, especially as a good pulverize, and then next thing, 2 people are dead instantly. So
exactly. But the Cassiopeia doing work, and of course, he was willing to pick that Jarvan into the Shen. That game is happening over on NALCS 2, so if you're curious to see how Game 2 closes out between Apex and Cloud9, head over there to check it out. We've got to take a quick break over here on NALCS 1. When we come back, we're moving into our second series. Fox versus Immortals kicks off in just 3.5.
What a statement it would be to start this season so strong. NRG, though, have been only growing in strength. We'll see what they have in store for us in Game 2. Like we said, comps looking very similar. We'll see how they go on the execution this time around. Cocoon's good, going to keep him back for now, but Quas, I think, maybe going to be sacrificed. He is! Bjergsen in, there's 1. Now going to look for OQ as well. Could be 2. Never moved down. Haunter claims that one. TSM explode across the riv. Bjergsen's here. Never moved. Flash, but Bjergsen rides in for it. Oh, 2! Scoops him back, finds another Kiwi kid now. Going to get slowed up by the Rylers, and Bjergsen! Double kill. Tidal Wave gets OQ. He gets blown up by Biofrost as he gets the kill. Culling, though, is going to collect it. And so one of Bjergsen rides in, gets a 3-man ulti with a scoop. And now GBM's going to go down as well. A double kill for Haunter. TSM pushed through. I'm going to take out the Nexus alone atop the mountain. Your reigning kings of North America.